Hello and welcome to AirgunWeb.com, your home for honest, real-world airgun reviews and information where we bring you the facts, not fluff. Today's review product has been one of the most requested rifles starting from the day it became available. Now initially there were a few stumbles with the product line. Now, with well over a year under its belt, how does the NP2 fare here on AirgunWeb? Well, I guess you're going to have to watch the video to find out. Let's go ahead and take a close look at the NP2. I have the wood stock version. Having also shot the synthetic, I prefer the wood as it does a better job dampening the vibration. It's a fully ambidextrous stock and it feels decent when you pull it to the shoulder. The rifle is fairly long, but there's a reason. Unlike previous versions of the NP rifles, the NP2 utilizes an integrated suppressor inside the last several inches of the shroud. This not only lowers the report of the rifle, but also helps reduce the cocking force. It's reported to be a mere 28 pounds, making the NP2 one of the easiest cocking magnum spring or gas ram guns that I've tested. Now this bundle from PyramydAir came with a 3-9x40 AO duplex scope, as well as a rifle sling. The scope seems to work very well, although I would much rather have a mil-dot reticle. Operation of the NP2 is about as straightforward as it gets. You pull down on the barrel until you've fully cocked the rifle, load your pellet, close the barrel, release the safety, and gently squeeze the trigger. To fire again, simply repeat the process. Now the safety on the NP2 is a manual safety, so you'll need to remember to set it manually if you're not going to take your shot right away. The trigger on the NP2 is okay with a moderate first stage and a firm second stage that breaks around 5 pounds. Now there is an adjustment, and it adjusts the pull length of the second stage, and that does help a little bit, but it's still too heavy for my tastes. Now before we talk nitty-gritty numbers, I want to mention just a little bit about the overall shootability of the NP2. It takes a bit of time to break in, maybe 200 pellets or so. Also, keep your tools handy as you're going to need to tighten the stock screws and the scope mounts due to the recoil. If you find your accuracy wandering, check all your screws and try again. While this is pretty typical of most any spring or gas ram gun, the NP2 seems to be a little bit more prone to it than others I've tested. Also, you're going to need to learn the artillery hold and practice proper follow-through. I found the NP2 to be very temperamental with regards to hold sensitivity, especially when shooting on the bench. Now on to the numbers. Benjamin splits the velocity claims, stating 1100 feet per second with alloy pellets and up to 900 feet per second with lead pellets. Our rifle did pretty good in this area. Shooting the 11.9 grain lead RWS hobby pellets, I'm averaging 857 feet per second with an extreme spread of only 11 feet per second. When it comes to accuracy, there were a couple pellets that did pretty well. First, there were the H&N Baracuda Hunter Extremes. They're 19.09 grain, and they averaged 663 feet per second and generated 18.64 foot-pounds at the muzzle. Also, you had the 15.89 grain JSBs. Now they averaged 752 feet per second and generated 19.96 foot-pounds at the muzzle. Here are some shooting tests with the NP2 shot on my front yard range. So here's our final summary. The big question for me was if the new iterations of the NP2 had improved over the first batches that were released. And I think today's version is better than the originals. Now, it's not a match gun, but it is adequate for small game and backyard target shooting. There are a couple things I'd like changed, but they are more preferences than actual issues with the platform. In my opinion, the trigger should be lighter and more adjustable, and the scope should have a mil-dot reticle. The one constant battle I had was always having to check and tighten the stock screws even well after the break-in period. With that said, however, this particular bundle still hits all the important marks for most casual airgunners. It's powerful, easy to cock, has a decent bundled scope, includes a sling, and with the right technique, certainly holds its own in the hunting accuracy category. I'd like to take a moment to thank PyramydAir for sponsoring AirgunWeb in these videos. Please be sure to take a look at the video description for more information and links to the products used in this video. And when you're ready to make your next purchase, do it over at PyramydAir.com and let them know that Rick sent you their way. When you're looking for honest, real-world airgun reviews, think AirgunWeb, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. I'm Rick Utzer with AirgunWeb.com. Thanks again for watching.